Hi everyone, it's really great to be here. My name is Maija Itkonen. I'm the CEO and co-founder of a company called Onego Bio. What we do is non-animal egg protein. Egg is such a wonderful ingredient. It's such a golden standard protein. It's high in nutrition, really great in functionality. And it's not a wonder that we every year consume more than 1 trillion eggs globally. But then, at the same time, you have this egg industry behind that, and that's surprisingly vulnerable. There's basically no cushion for any of these disruptions like avian flu, salmonella, and so on. So availability is dropped very easily. The prices go higher, and there's basically like only a couple of days supply of eggs available if something happens. And why that's a problem is that it always comes back to the prices. Consumers don't necessarily mind paying higher prices for the eggs, but then the food manufacturers, they're really suffering for that because you can't just go on and increase your food prices when something happens to your ingredient. So this is a clear problem. Food manufacturers around the world are searching for solutions for this. And just the industrial eggs alone are covering more than $100 billion as the size. So it's very difficult to replace the eggs with the plant-based substitutes, for example, because of those functionalities. So if we can't substitute it, what to do? Well, we think that we need to just have another source of manufacturing that golden standard egg protein. And this is exactly what Onego does. So we produce not a substitute, but real non-animal ovalbumin that is just not made by chickens, it's made by a microbe. It comes with the same price, same performance, about 90% lower environmental footprint, and really it's a plug-in replacement for the animal-based egg protein. You wonder how is it possible? Well, it very much is possible. This technology is actually not that new. This is something that has been used for decades. Basically, since 1980s, the food industry has been relying on this method called precision fermentation for making different food aids, like, for example, enzymes, colors, flavors, citric acids, rennets, and so on. You have a microbe. In our case, the microbe is a fungus called Trichoderma ricei. It's a very, very efficient fungus. We feed that with a carbon source. In this case, we start with the corn sugar because that's sort of like the easiest and cleanest sugar source. But it's fully possible to utilize all kinds of valorized feedstock items, such as like side streams of some other productions. You feed that for the fungus, and then it grows itself and starts then secreting the protein, like sweating out the protein. And once you filter away the fungal biomass, you just have the water that has the protein in it. And when you dry that, it just becomes this pure, clean protein powder. And then the fungal biomass itself on the other end of that process is also really valuable as an ingredient. So it can be used for making all kinds of materials, such as packaging materials, leather materials, or, for example, processed into the pet food or some other feed items. But at the end of the day, this whole technology really comes to this functionality. So everybody knows why it's so important to have like these perfect textures and structures for the foods. So all this chewiness and crispiness and fluffiness of these famous foods are basically coming from the eggs. And that's exactly why our product is so good in functionality. Yeah, and actually in blind tests, the consumers have been even preferring these cookies that were made with our product bioalbumin because it's a little bit more potent even than the animal-based eggs. It has this higher functionality that makes fluffier cakes and thicker cookies and so on. But yes, of course, why it is so important is that, like I said, the egg industry is like a $300 billion industry, and we consume every year more than 1 trillion eggs. So it really matters a lot how we're manufacturing the eggs. So By manufacturing it with this precision fermentation, you have about 90% lower environmental footprint. So thinking about the greenhouse gases, land use, water use, and then, of course, the astonishing amount of side streams that are coming from the traditional egg production. For example, thinking about the manure that is polluting the groundwaters and just coming in astonishing amounts. Our company operates in these two offices. So our R&D is located in Helsinki, Finland, where VTT, our home base, so we are a spin-off from a VTT, Technical Research Center of Finland. The VTT background brings us like a great head start for the technology. So all of our R&D and research is located in here. And then at the same time, US is going to be our first market. And we have a commercial office located in San Diego. So there we have the food scientists and the sales teams that are working with the customers. This is my leadership team. So all of us, we basically have about more than 15 years of experience in our respective fields. So myself, I'm a third-time founder, so I built and exited 2 tech companies before this. And then Chris Landowski, who is our co-founder and CTO. He's one of the world's best-known molecular biologists on this fungal biology field. And Tom Ferguson, our CFO, used to finance this traditional agriculture before this. So he has been actually working with the traditional egg production significantly. And then Paavo, who is our business development officer. He is an ingredient specialist who has been doing ingredient business around the world for 20 years. So yeah, in 3 years that we have been running this, after the spin-off, we have been able to improve, for example, our process efficiency by 100 times already. We have completed the demo runs for the 62,000 liters with the contract manufacturing partners. And we have reserved a site in Wisconsin to build our first industrial scale manufacturing unit. And just about 1.5 months ago, we received this no questions letter from the FDA that they are giving green light for us to commercialize this in the United States. We have got tremendous support from all kinds of governmental entities. Here in Europe, we have got the support from the European Union, but then also in the US, we also got funding from Department of Defense even. So it just proves that this egg protein is a really, really important ingredient for the food security. And we have raised so far 40 million equity financing and 20 million non-dilutive funding on top of that. So that was Series C and Series A, and we're now just looking into entering the Series B phase. So if you're interested, we would of course be happy to talk about that. Yeah, so if there are any questions, I would be happy to answer. Thank you.